After all these years, we finally have our first ever playable mage from the Hexenzirkel. I'll admit, I was pleasantly surprised to find out that she was going to be a pyro unit after all of the speculation of her being Geo. Kid aside, we are here to talk about her design, and she's a gorgeous one. When her design was first revealed, the main thing that caught my eye was the color palette. We have beautiful shades of blues and whites with a gold accent. Now, I've seen these gold accents done a lot on Genshin characters in the past, but it doesn't feel overdone on Nicole. It's probably because these accents are used sparingly compared to older designs that have the really thick golden accents to help break up the shapes. I like the cut of her dress as it's more unique, and I believe Emily is the only other character rocking a similar cut dress to Nicole. I also really like how her legs have this white sheer stocking on them. It makes the legs look interesting without having to overdo it in detail. I look at this design and there's a lot to love about it. It's pretty, the colors feel balanced, and it's different than what we've gotten before. Sort of. Can't help but notice the detached sleeves, the collar piece, and the high heels are also slapped onto Nicole. The odd thing is, I actually don't think these elements are out of place on her design. They look good, and I do get an ethereal vibe from these details. She's a writer, and having such intricate details and patterns on her design suits that element of her personality. I am just so exhausted at seeing the same design tropes over and over that I feel like I can't fully appreciate this design for what it is. I've seen this before, and in my high heels impact video I looked at all the tall women models and every single one of them have high heels, including now Nicole. Kudosara was the only one that didn't. I don't want to see the tall women only wear high heels anymore. Give me something different. But that's no fault of Nicole's design, but rather a persistent pattern that has existed long before her release. Jumping over to her splash art, I love the rendering on this. Making these dark blues blend into a warm yellow light is just so pretty and pleasing to look at. We get to see the pyro element in her wings and some trails of light near the bottom. Plus, some of those turned into pyroceles, which is especially interesting because there are no pyroceles in Natlan. If I recall correctly, all of the original pyroceles were eaten by the dragons, so seeing them present on Nicole's splash art excites me for what may be revealed about her character's lore in the future. I actually also didn't notice her side profile emerging from the clouds at the top either. It's an interesting detail, and of course the stairs are drawn in a way that brings some perspective into the splash art. Thankfully, there is plenty of usage of negative space so that we aren't left with a giant black blob that appears on the screen. I think my favorite detail in breaking up the silhouette are the subtle sparkles in the clouds. You can see some towards the left. It's just enough to break up the clouds without them losing its overall shape. Her splash art and overall appearance definitely hits on her more angelic Seelie side as opposed to her status as a rider. I think including a little feather pen on her cap would have been a perfect extra detail to clue us into that part of her personality. Speaking of, I really want to learn why she doesn't speak but rather uses her telepathic powers for communications. Apparently, we won't be getting any individual story quests for Nicole, which makes me pretty nervous, but we will have to wait and see. However, thankfully we do have a trailer that actually answers that question. This trailer does have small lore spoilers, so if you want to go experience it for yourself first, pause this video and go watch it real quick. One of the biggest questions I had was how she lost her voice. Her first trailer answers this, and we even get a pretty big name drop at the very end. I just hope we will dive into Nicole more in the next Archon quest because it would be a shame for such an interesting and important lore to be locked in a trailer. For example, imagine watching Arlecchino's trailer and learning about the previous House of the Hearth and the bloody battles, only for the game to completely ignore that it happened. It's already rough enough that a lot of interesting storytelling is hidden in text walls attached to the story tab of a character. If you ever want to learn more about your favorite character in this game, go to their story tab. They have a lot of interesting things hidden in there. While we don't discuss kits too often, I do want to bring up one of her abilities to find treasure with a pyroceles. That is so cute, and what a neat way to add extra value to a character. It just kills me that I will likely be skipping Nicole due to a lack of Primogem funds and because low one is around the corner. Overall, Nicole is a gorgeous character, and it's exciting to get our first playable Hexenzirkel Mage. She's also been marketed as one of the first angels, which is interesting considering Zabai just came out, but nonetheless, I'm excited to see her gameplay and what she can do. Thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed, please leave a like and consider subscribing. I have many more videos in my Let's Discuss series, with Alice actually being the one that kickstarted this entire series in general, so feel free to watch that next. I hope to see you in the next one.